So in this case, you had a New Mexico court that decided that, and a judge that decided that this is ridiculous. So they had already done some cases beforehand that really cut down on the use of civil asset forfeiture, basically saying they couldn't do it with money. So the police were like, fine, we'll just start taking people's cars. And so this new case, the judge said, no, you can't steal people's stuff when they haven't committed a crime. You have to first have that person go through the judicial process. After they go through the judicial process, you can then tell them, okay, you've been found guilty for X, Y, and Z. Now we're going to take these funds or whatever it is that you use to do whatever illegal crime that we just convicted you of. You can't just take their car and say, sucks, you're going to have to walk back. You haven't done anything wrong, but your car has. So, guys, this is a step forward in a single state, but the point that we get from this is that it starts to develop a little bit of court precedent. And again, there is more money taken from citizens, from police using civil asset forfeiture, than there is from citizens committing burglaries or robberies, everything of that combined.
This is a really positive court ruling, and it's in the right direction because almost everywhere else in the country, and this has been going on for decades, this is one of the only areas in law where we treat everything sort of backwards. It's not innocent until proven guilty. It's the government making an accusation that some property that you owned was involved in a crime in some way, but then the burden of proof is put on the other person to disprove that accusation. That's just not the way logic works. Like, if you accuse someone of something or you make a claim, you have the burden of proof, not the other person.
Rebecca? It's not really a legitimate policy. It's just them demonizing people that are, less powerful. In Illinois, law enforcement takes more than $319 million on forfeited property over the last decade. So this was in 2016, published by the Chicago Tribune. So $319 million of innocent Illinois people that, even if you are convicted of a crime, why should you have everything you own stolen from you? Anything that's in your car? I mean, that's the livelihood of a lot of people.
They need that margarita, guys. They need that margarita machine. I'm sorry.
That's another fantastic point, though, that builds onto this. Because if the point of a judicial system is to get bad people off the streets and then rehabilitate them so they can become good citizens, you've taken away their ability. So if you take someone's car, then they can't go to work. And if they can't go to work, then they get fired. And if they're fired, they don't have an income. And if they don't have an income, then a lot of people are forced to do stuff that isn't legal to get enough money just to be able to eat. And so then when people start doing that, then they become criminals. Then the police rearrest them. And that's why our recidivism in the U.S. is basically one of the highest on the planet in terms of with first world nations. And so then they go back in prison, and they're reoffending. So then the judge gives them a harsher sentence. So then they're stuck in prison, which costs about $5 an hour generally, depending on what jail you're at, to house an inmate. So then people have to pay about $60,000 a year in taxpayer money to put someone in prison, to maintain someone's sentence in prison for a crime that they committed because their car got taken away a number of years ago.
But it helps the private prison industry. So, that's the ultimate motive. Demonize the poor all the time.
The United States, a rich and powerful country that has incarcerated more people than any other democracy in the free world.
Even not even democracies. China's like, wow, you guys have a lot of people in prison, says us with 3 times the population as you.
And even Putin probably has to put his word in and says, wow, you guys really do like to lock people up.
And 5% of the world's population, 25% of the world's incarcerated population.